welcome back. So I'm actually re-recording this video because yesterday's version just was not good enough. There were some audio lag issues and I have a new computer, so I'm still setting everything up. But this is anyway a very different video from our usual because I'm going to be introducing a new project of ours, which I'm going to be calling Extremely Open Science. And before I tell you exactly what Extremely Open Science is, let me talk about the motivation and a bit the name. So open science has been around for a while, but normally that term refers to the outputs of the scientific process. So we're saying the manuscripts will be open access or even available as preprints. We're saying, if there's code, and we work in computational biology, so often there's code, the code will be open source. If there's data, the data will be open data. But perhaps except for showing the preprints, all of this is the output of the scientific process. And even the preprint is a very advanced output of the scientific process. So here I'll be going much more open, and this is where the name comes from, and I'll be showing the whole development process. And what I mean by this is that I will be literally streaming the development process. So I'll be putting this up in here on YouTube Live, and I'll be putting all of the code on GitHub, so everything will be available. Everything will be there. And so why am I doing this? So there's a couple of reasons. So first of all, I'm doing this because personally I've been thinking about these ideas for a long time, and I wanted also to have a little bit of a scientific process project that's developed by me, because most of my day and most of my job is supervising other people, writing grants, looking over editing manuscripts, and that's really very, very enjoyable. But I do worry about the issue of getting PI disease, where my skills and my knowledge will atrophy and become stale, and so I do want to be developing a little bit my own project. And last year in 2023, I did a completely different thing where I was writing this perspective piece, and I will also link it below. But for 2024, I'll be doing so to speak, some actual science where I'll be coding live, and part of this I will be starting from scratch. I will start in 2 weeks, and I will start to really make clear, start a completely new directory for the project, download the data, and showing all of this nitty-gritty, because I've seen some people who come into the field and maybe they've seen the outputs. Again, we show the outputs of our process, and they see these very polished outputs, right? And they start their own projects, and they spend now hours dealing with very minor issues, and they get very discouraged because maybe they don't realize that we also spend all of those hours dealing with very minor issues. I spend hours, today I spent hours dealing with how to install OBS, and spend hours dealing with how to install stuff on the Kone environment. And actually to the extent that I am significantly faster than most people at doing that is because I have a lot of experience dealing with it. So often, I encounter a problem, and I can say, aha, I dealt this, a few years ago, and so I can recognize this, and now I don't have to fight the problem anymore. But the first time I've encountered each one of these, I've had to solve them. So I'm going to be streaming that, so I will do a separate video about the scientific question that will be trying to solve, hopefully solving, which will be to look at the co-occurrence of antimicrobial resistance genes in genomes and metagenomes. And I've tried to choose a question where we can do everything with a personal laptop. So, if you don't have access to high performance computing or a GPU, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine, you'll be able to follow along. So to follow along, oops, sorry, I'm messing this stuff up. So right now there's there's a mailing list, which you can join the mailing list if you're interested, and this is an experiment. I'm still figuring out exactly how things will work. I'm still figuring out, as you just saw, I'm still figuring out how OBS works, figuring out how to do the actual streaming. But hopefully, I will learn something about how everything of this works. Hopefully some people will learn something about how science works. Hopefully we will also learn about antimicrobial resistance, and perhaps be able to publish either as its own paper or in a larger paper, whatever our findings are. So this will start in 2 weeks. But in the meanwhile, I'm doing all of my regular job, all of my regular trying to all of our projects keep going. So I'm committing to doing about an hour a week of this extremely open science, but we will keep posting videos about our tools, about our tutorials, about our science, more science-driven videos. So we can keep posting everything here. So I hope to see you soon.